Hello, patrons, and welcome back to the Bronze Shrine. So, today I figured I'd kind of go over for Dragon Soul the majority of the raids and generally like tips for each of the raids. It's going to be a fairly long video today, but I just wanted to show off the 4 different raids that are currently in Dragon Soul at the moment, as well as tips for how to complete them, as well as the rewards that they give you. Should be a quick and easy way. Well, I wouldn't say quick nor easy, but it'll be a decent way to showcasing the raids to some people that I know may or may not know how to do them, as well as some helpful guides in order to do each. So to start with, we'll do a simple one today. First and foremost on the raid list, we'll be doing Dr. Gero. So Dr. Gero's raid you get fairly early. Like during the main story, you get like near the beginning actually. So you have easy mode, which is the mode that the story mode gives you, and then you have the other proper raid modes. These give increased stats as well as increased rewards. So hard mode gives the brain these key stealing gloves if you can get your hands on them early on. These are really good gloves. They give you ki back whenever you punch something. The skill, which I've talked about in another video, as well as the Dr. Gero stash, which you can get for like character customization. And insane mode adds all that, but it adds the 18 earrings from Android 18, as well as the combat analyzer, which is an amazing passive. If you can get this, it is amazing. Basically what it does is for the rest of your time playing this game, every time you start a raid, it is a 50% buff to all of your stats. Very good. And the 30% for Gero's Heart Virus is for the False Super Saiyan God quest, which later people will be doing around level past 2000-ish. It's kind of the after you deal with Cell and all that. So we'll be doing a quick run through of this just so I can show you the general purpose of the raid. So it starts off with just Gero. He's just kind of here and he just attacks you. Fairly simple. So we can quickly beat him down to show you basically what else happens in this raid. So once you get him to about 1/3 HP, he's going to kind of give himself the shield, and he will summon a bunch of, as you can see, like little androids that'll attack you. So to get this next stage, you have to take out all these androids, and then causes Gero to pop out of his shield, and then you just finish him off. So normally that is where the easy through hard mode will end, but since I'm playing on insane difficulty, you will get this extra little cutscene. And what this does is that it will summon Android 17 and 18. 18 is the one that drops the earrings, as you saw. And they're fairly hard, especially for most players. Like, I'm using a fun bug that's currently going on right now, which is why I'm not struggling too hard. But even for most higher level players, this is a fairly decently difficult fight, but it's not too hard outside of that. But you just gotta be able to beat these down, and then once you take care of them, it will need to then come over here, hit this little button, and that's the raid. And that is the raid for Insane on Dr. Gero's raid. Next raid in the line, we'll probably do Broly's last because it's like the big raid right now, is Saving Walker. So Saving Walker only has one mode, which is easy mode. It gives you 3% for the Dark Great Sword, which is a fighting style where you use a sword. Kind of cool. And then you have a bunch of like cosmetic outfits. This raid is less of a boss. I mean, sure, it is a boss fighting raid, but it's a lot of like hoarding actually. It's more of like a dungeon than it is just a raid, which is actually kind of cool if you ask me. So you have to basically go through this little section and take care of a bunch of waves of enemies that'll show up to fight you. It's kind of cool. There's a secret in this raid as well, which I can show you the basics of how to do it once we get to that point. It's for a specific quest that you need to do in the North Pole area, which is right outside where you normally find this spot. You have to do it around there. Man, these guys can be annoying sometimes, but they're not generally too difficult. You just gotta beat all of them down, really. Fairly simple. So, for what I was telling you about with that quest earlier, is that you would go to this box right here. This box gives you some first aid kits. And you would take these first aid kits to a underground little like area, which is in the zone right outside of here under some water. If you would like, I could show you this properly in another video, but for now I'm just showing the base raid. So then you would hit this button to go into this holding cell area. Hit this button to start the raid. And this will start falling down. At some point while we're heading down here, eventually a bunch of dudes will show up, which you'll need to get rid of. So, but this is less of a proper normal raid that you'd expect like all the other raids are. It's still something cool though. Just do this to get rid of all of them because they're being a pain. Yeah, this guy is annoying that he actually got through that, but nothing I can do about it. So at this point, you'll be heading down to fight some more because they like to come in a big group, which is a pain in of its own right. I don't know what's going on with my Kamehameha. It's actually kind of annoying. But they're kind of spamming me with melee moves. It happens a lot. NPCs like to do that. It's a real pain in the neck sometimes. So either have a lot of health or have ways to just not get hit by them because it's such a pain. So then once you get to this point, you're going to want to... It's going to ask you to basically break the power that's in the space. You can either talk to this first, which I guess I can just show you. It's going to want you to talk to Walker, who is... there's Keith. But you're basically looking for... Yeah, you're looking for him, basically. Also, I've been calling him Walker this whole time, but his name is Waker. English is my native language. Anyway, so once you talk to this officer, he's going to ask you to destroy the generators on the walls, which are these things. You could wait to talk to the officer first before doing this, or you can also just shoot these as you're coming down. That also works. You don't really have to wait to break these. So, generally speaking, on the very rare occasions I actually do this dungeon, I'll just break these as I'm waiting. So at this point, you will need to just fly straight up pretty much and head out the way you came through this door. And now you will be fighting an actual boss, which would be this guy. He is another one of those pains in the necks who likes to take forever and hit you with a lot of melee moves that put you in 30 cutscenes, because of course it is. But you can quickly deal with him without too much issue. See, he's doing the funny thing NPCs like to do in this game, which is, I'm going to hit you with 30 million melee cutscene moves, and there's nothing you can do about it. Oh, well, would you look at that? I actually haven't gotten that before. That's interesting. So that is the 3% drop for the Greatsword, which is kind of cool, actually. Didn't actually have that before now. And then once you've beaten him, you just head out the door, and there you go. That would be this raid. The next raid is less of a raid, more of a survival challenge. It's One Punch Man, which I can just show you what he gives, because for the One Punch Man raid, easy, normal, hard, there's literally, the only difference is how long you have to survive, because in this raid, you can't fight him at all. He has like 700 billion health, and he one-shots you. Because, it's One Punch Man. But, and the increasing in difficulty increases how long you have to live, but it also gives you different rewards. So, The One Punch Man cape is actually the best cape, like, back item you can get in the game right now. So if you can get this, it'd be really, really good. And then for the hard mode, it guarantees you get the Dark Halo. It's not really that crazy. The only thing you have to do there is just live. Yeah. Now, the big raid that everybody's here for is the Broly raid. So you have the easy story mode, which is, again, something you do in the story. Normal mode has you fight Broly, S, obviously. And it has a set chance to fight others. So you have Kale, which gives a variant of Legendary Super Saiyan, which is a more strength-focused one, as well as her outfit. Then you have Caulifla, which just gives her outfit. And then you have the Broly S equipment. And then a rare spawn in normal mode is Broly Z. He has his outfits and also items. So his form is the more of a just regular, all-around better versions of Legendary Super Saiyan if you don't have anything else all the time. This is a very strength-heavy aura. I would probably recommend, if you don't want just strength, I would recommend using False Super Saiyan God, which I can go over later if you wish. People want. And he also has his hair, which is the only hair currently in the game with an enchantment slot on it. So generally, you're going to want this just, even if you don't actually wear it, because as you can tell, I'm not wearing it. You still want it just for the slot. What I'm doing is I have it equipped, but I have a different, like, hair cosmetically applied. Hard mode is the same thing. It just has a higher chance of Broly DBZ. And then you have the Insane Broly raid, which is a very common raid you'll be seeing people talk about. This one has Adrenaline Pump, which is a kind of a bad item, really. It makes it so it's an active skill that has to go in your hotbar that increases your speed by like 50, which is not really much. It's not really worth losing a move for that, if you ask me. All the rewards are here the same for Broly, except you still also get his earrings, but it also adds Kefla. So Kefla is the main special fight of this one. Kefla is the hardest enemy to fight in the game currently. And she has her outfits. Her outfit is currently the best clothing in the game. She has her own hair, which this is only really for cosplay purposes because for some reason the Kefla hair is just a common item, so it doesn't even have an enchantment slot on it. And then it has Kefla's move, Gigantic Burst. For the sake of the video, I'll probably be doing Broly Hard just in case. Because most people do Insane as a group. But I will say for Insane in particular, actually, I suppose I could do Insane. I can show you. Because Insane has a special mechanic you have to do to get to this point, which I can show you. So, we will be doing this one for this demonstration of the raid. Which I'll be powering up for this, because this raid can be annoying. Especially on Insane difficulty. So we're going to quickly beat down Broly here. But he also is a fan of the melee moves that last forever. I'll probably end up cutting to when I actually beat up Broly. Actually, no, I shouldn't. I should be talking about his moves. So what he did right there is an AoE move. It's basically he kind of pulls up a giant green ball and shoots it at you. Generally, as long as you get away from it, you have more than enough time to react to it. The big red circle you saw is a very large AoE Broly has, where the circle is actually not fully accurate to the actual damage. You're going to want to block no matter where you are. It's basically a large scream he does. That is a beam he does, where as long as you just get away from it like you saw with me, and you just dodge it, you should be fine. The other move he did was a Gigantic Rage throw, where he just kind of grabs you and launches you. It's something you got to be careful of. This move is another move where he turns off your flying and proceeds to just launch giant balls at you. Another move he does is a very quick, like, Ki Blast he'll do in, like, the middle of fighting, which can be a pain to notice sometimes, so you gotta be careful with that. See, there's the AoE move I was telling you about. He also has a few melee moves, like he has a Meteor Crash, and he has a Gigantic Throw. But he has a few moves you gotta be careful of. So for this particular part, we are going to be fighting Kayle, and Caulifla. To describe them simply, without having to get into too long of a detail, they take Broly's moves and they split them between two people. Caulifla, which is the regular Super Saiyan and not the legendary Super Saiyan, will all do all of Broly's ranged moves. So the beam, the ball, and a little like orb she quickly chucks at you. Kayle, the legendary Super Saiyan, will only do Broly's grab moves. So she will exclusively want to grab you, which can be a benefit in its own right, because that means, unlike Caulifla, who only throws things at you, Kayle will always just slowly float at you, and then that's it. That's all she does, until she gets in range. So Kayle is a little easier to deal with, at least in terms of ignoring her, because of that. While Caulifla, you can't really ignore her too much because of the fact that she has so many ranged moves. So the gimmick with this particular Insane Raid is that no matter what, you have to make sure Kayle and Caulifla die together. If they have, once you take out one, you have 30 seconds to take out the other. And if you don't do it in time, they basically respawn at full health, which can be a pain. See, as you can tell, I need to wait 30. I basically have to defeat Caulifla in 30 seconds, which, because I set it up right, I did. Now this is Kefla, the hardest fight in the game, and she makes up for it in terms of damage, health, and moves. She's very scary. You're generally going to want to do this with either souls turned on or a whole bunch of friends, or just people. So the thing about Kefla that makes her scary is she has multiple moves to do a lot of damage. That is Gigantic Burst. That is actually the move you can get from her, if you get lucky. This is her scariest move. It is a massive, basically entire map-wide pull that does a bunch of damage. Most people basically get one shot from that. It is a massive pain to get hit by. So it's something you need to watch out for. She also has Dragon Burn, like what you saw right there, where she'll use it to kind of interrupt you if you're punching her. It's kind of annoying. You don't even really get a turn against her. Oh, here she goes with that. Because as you saw right there, just how far of a range that pulled me in from. And why Caulifla is a massive pain. It appears I actually broke her, which is funny. Yep. Even with the massive damage reduction I currently have due to Kaioken, it still wasn't enough to deal with Caulifla's shenanigans. Like, she does so much damage and has so many ways of hitting you with it. So she is a very scary opponent. That's why I can only really recommend fighting her with souls if you're not like at this level of power. But there are ways to, I guess, hit her back. Like right there, you could use a beam move while she's doing that. And that is basically the Broly raid. And for that is generally every raid in Dragon Soul at the current moment. There is going to be a new one soon. As you can tell, there is the God Key raid, but we don't exactly know when this is coming. We're assuming it's coming with the Super Saiyan God chapters, but I don't know, it's been there for years, so I have no idea. So outside of the loot drops you get from the raids, you also have the raid crystal shop. So every time you complete a raid, you get one raid crystal, unless you do it on hard or higher, where you get 2 raid crystals. So you can use these raid crystals to buy basically a variety of items, usually. So either sell things from the Cell fight or a bunch of Broly things. Like, there's a whole bunch of stuff you can get with raid crystals. Just figure out something you like and you want to save for, you could probably buy it. But for the most part, that is the general aspect of pretty much every raid in Dragon Soul. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you very much for visiting the shrine today. And if there's anything else I can help you with in terms of comments or concerns, do please put a message down below and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Thank you very much for taking time out of your day, and I will see you guys next time.